You plant seeds in the soil and you water it, and then the roots go into the ground and it grows.
The reason school food came into being here in the Orfield Foundations started from a lot of personal experience that I'd had as a mom, being in the high school arena where we were asked to go volunteer, and I would go work into the snack shop of the schools. And I was horrified by the fact that it was a conscionable act that people could sell students 2 bags of Doritos and a Coke and call that lunch. I had a really hard time being in that environment and thinking that was an appropriate action for an adult to model for children, and that this was the way that we were feeding our kids.
Our mission is to connect children to their food and to their environment through gardens. And really what we want to see is to improve their own personal health and collectively to improve environmental health.
We initially did an assessment of 110 schools here in the county, and we started working with those who were most amenable to working with us.
We're sort of facilitators in a way, and we kind of like mentors somewhat, but the kids do a lot of the work, and we do some initial designing, and that's super important, but we like to have the kids like really be involved throughout the whole process. They actually were able to make this plan and present it to Santa Barbara School District, the head of the maintenance operations, and they approved this plan.
We want this garden to be a part of the school culture and the community culture.
To be able to come on the pavement right up to the edge of the garden bed, and they might not be able to take the wheels on our yard, on our street.
Perfect.
The garden becomes a wonderful opportunity to teach multiple concepts that are often challenging for kids to learn all at the same time, in a way that's integrated, in a way that forms multiple connections.
Learn science through, a carrot. I would have remembered science if I was taught that way.
I learned to inspire kids about eating fresh food, and I feel like when kids start growing food, or when they see where it's coming from, they get inspired to try it. If they've never seen it grown, or they've never been part of the process in the soil, they're generally more resistant to eating fresh foods.
We'd love to see kids transitioning away from the processed foods, the high sugars, the high calorie foods that really aren't providing them a healthy base, and instead start transitioning into healthier food choices.
I think that also many children set their food preferences for life, and if they've never been exposed to healthy foods, their palates will never develop a preference for it. And if we can get these kids to realize that the food that's good for them tastes good, I think that we're a long way in helping them create healthy eating patterns through their life.
So there's another component of success, and of course that's with the kids. And it's the most important component, but it may also be one of the hardest ones to measure. It's like, how do you actually measure whether or not you've changed a child's life? I mean, you're going to go and interview them again 20 years from now to see if they're actually making healthy food choices, that they're more connected with their environment. It's challenging, it's difficult.
My name is Abel. My favorite fruit is tomato, and my favorite vegetable is carrots.
I like apples and plums, peas.
Like the oranges, and apples, strawberries.
My favorite vegetable is tomatoes.
My name is Kendra, and my favorite fruit is kiwi, and my favorite vegetable is broccoli. My favorite fruit is bananas. My favorite vegetable is salad.
Some have turned it the nature deficit disorder. I've been asked at times, what is the greatest problem that is precipitated into what we have right now, and it's a disease of disconnect. We're disconnected. We don't see how we connect to the natural world.
The kids absolutely love it, and just to see them light up and eat something that they plant. Of course, every kid thinks that the carrot that they've eaten is the carrot seed they planted.
We also face health issues, a lot of which are associated with food. Those may well be a massive strain on our future generations, but at the same time, if we do address them, if we do better understand them, and if we turn crisis into opportunity, then these kids are going to be so much better prepared to actually be a positive influence on the system, and are going to set themselves up to be very successful.
Freshly grown, freshly picked is much better because at the store they take a while to pick it, and then they have to ship it. It takes a long time.
You're minimizing the carbon footprint, because in the traditional marketing of produce, you grow a crop in Santa Barbara, you ship it to LA, and then it comes back 2 days later to your local supermarkets. And that doesn't make a lot of sense. And probably the most important part of this whole sustainability concept is fresh food is much more vital and healthy for you than food that's not fresh.
Wow. So that if they are starting to make choices about healthy whole foods, maybe they start supporting more organic agricultural methods. Maybe they start looking in more closely to the impacts of the different choices that they make. And we as a society start shifting away from systems that are degrading kind of our environmental base, degrading our ecological or natural capital, and start making decisions that actually regenerate that natural capital, so that we have a high quality of life and actually we preserve our living systems and our environmental systems that we depend on. So that's a dream. I mean, that's one of those things I'd love to see kids that start off in these gardens come back 20 or 30 years later with an ecological literacy that really impacts society as a whole. What better way to learn something than have fun learning it? Why not? Why not take advantage of that?
Not all kids will embrace kale, but some of them will get really excited about it when they actually eat it. So.
I mean, these kids are our future. These kids are the ones who are going to be out there, the next generation of people, and if we don't teach them about how to eat, if we don't teach them about how to live healthy, if we don't teach them about how all that's connected to our environment, what's the world going to look like 10 years from now?